Okay, in this tutorial we are going to cover adding costs to an event. Now in All In you've got the three sections for chat, event and costs, and if you go into the costs section at the top, this will only show you final bills that are ready to settle. So if you haven't created any, it will show up as blank initially. But adding costs is nice and simple, and I'm going to show you how now. The key thing to understand is to add costs, you need to add them to the event itself. So you can do that by going into the events area and choosing the particular event you want to add the costs to, or you can go into the chat and find your way to the event through the link to the event that's in the chat for that group. In the event, you can see I've got three tabs across the middle: the information, the status of all the people that have responded, and then the costs section. And in there you can see I've got a button that says add cost. What's important to know is that at least one person of the group has to be set to in for you to be able to add costs and for that button to be enabled. But once they are, you can click on add cost and then a pop-up appears which allows you to add in any costs and the amounts and then split them between the right people. So here I've created a first round for £25. I can now go to the by who section and then select who paid for that round. And then in the between who, I can then select all the people that were involved as part of that round, and this will split the costs between those people. By default, All In will include anybody who is set to in within the event as being within the split for a particular cost item. But it's very simple to change. If somebody wasn't part of a round, you just untick them, and if they weren't set to in but are part of the round for the event, you can just tick them and that will include them. Now I've added the first round. Let's add in another round for dinner. And let's say that Dylan paid for that and that everybody was part of that round. Now let's add in some wine for the evening, and let's say Rhett paid for that. And everybody except for Dylan had some, so we'll tick those and click OK. You can see the total bill is mounting up nicely. Let's add in a soft drink item for Dylan. So Rhett paid for that as well. And this one was just Dylan. So that's all the costs for the evening recorded. You can see the different rounds, who paid for them, and then as you look at the table you can see individual costs for all the people in the round and what the split costs were. You can delete a line by clicking on the trash can on the right hand side, or if you click on the down arrow you can see who the round is split between currently. And if you want to make any changes, you simply have to click on the line itself and that will pop the window back up to allow you to adapt it. And then once you're happy, you can click on sort the bill, which will pop up a warning saying, are you sure? Because once you've sorted the bill, you can't then go back and make any changes. So just make sure that before you do that, that you've added everything into the event that you want to. So if you're sure, click yes. This will then calculate who owes what. And if you go to the payments section, that will then show you what payments you've got to make and what payments are owed to you. And now the payments have been created. If you go back up to the very top level of the app and go into the costs area, you'll see that this payment is now showing. So now the bill has been sorted and the costs have gone into the costs area. That means when you want to make any payments or check on any payments that are owed to you, you can do that without having to go into the event itself and just do this at the very top level. When it comes to making payment, you've got two options. You can either click on Pay Now, and that will currently give the option to pay by Stripe. Or you can select to pay separately, which is simply recording the fact that you've already paid that person. So if you paid them, set that to yes, and then that will change the status to pending. And once the person you've paid has confirmed receipt of that money, the status will change to paid in the app. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you for listening. I hope it's been of some use. Please leave any feedback or further questions through the relevant section on the website. Thank you.